Welcome back to 32 Team 2012 Madden franchise. We have finished week 10. Here in week 11. And let's take a look at the scores and schedules. The scores and stats for week 10. Colts Jags 24-14. Andrew Luck 2 touchdowns. Blaine Gabbert got benched in this game after throwing 2 touchdowns or 2 interceptions in the first half. He got benched. Chad Henne came in. Chad Henne then got hurt, and Blaine Gabbert came back in. His first play back in was an interception. He did have throwing a touchdown later in garbage time. It was 24-7. There was like 30 seconds left. So Chad Henne is going to start moving forward. Um, so Blaine Gabbert was a first round pick last year. Mike Mularkey, first year head coach, didn't draft him. He's not playing very good anymore. He was all right to start the year. Past 2 games have been completely atrocious, and Mularkey's on the hot seat. Gabbert also now on the hot seat as a second-year quarterback, and Chad Henne is going to start the remainder of the games. But the Colts moved to 6-3 in possession of first place in the AFC South. Coby Fleener, another amazing game from him. So they are 6-3. Atlanta, New Orleans. This was another game that featured a safety. No offensive touchdowns. Um, Atlanta had a safety. A lot of safeties this week. No offensive touchdowns in this football game. But these field goals, a lot of fantasy points from the field goal kickers. Um, so Atlanta gets back in the win column, and Matt Ryan is no longer the MVP frontrunner. It is now Andrew Luck. So that's interesting. Rookie winning MVP. Buffalo, New England. Big game. A lot on the line, and New England completely destroyed Buffalo. 33-13. Tom Brady 4 touchdowns. Fitzmagic only 1. They couldn't run the ball. This game got out of hand quick. Wes Welker caught a touchdown for a second straight week. Deion Branch, Jabbar Gaffney, Danny Woodhead all caught touchdowns. Ugly game. Bills did not come into play like they did previously. 20-point loss. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Buffalo going forward. And New England just keeps winning. I think that's their third win in the fourth win in a row. Denver, Carolina. Denver wins. All right quarterback play from each team. Willis McGahee continues on his run of terror. Steve Smith and Chris Gronkowski caught the touchdowns. But Carolina drops their second straight. Not looking good for them. And Denver keeps winning. Oakland, Baltimore. Baltimore wins 34-0. Joe Flacco doesn't play great, but Ray Rice did. Terrell Pryor, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not great. If you're wondering where all the touchdowns came from, Ray Rice had 1, Bernard Pierce had 1, and Joe Flacco had 2 rushing touchdowns. Obviously, you see the interceptions. I think one of them may have went for a touchdown. No? I'm thinking of another game. But yeah, big win for Baltimore. They keep winning, and Oakland hasn't won after Carson Palmer went down. Tampa Bay at Los Angeles. Los Angeles, and up until this game, all their losses were 1 possession. This game, they finally lose. Tampa Bay keeps winning. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. But they do. I think they won 7 or 6 games in real life. Muscle Hamster. Great game from him. But in this, they just keep winning. They keep finding a way. And I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it's gonna change. I think they're gonna continue to win. So I doubt anything changes. They're beating good teams. This was ugly. Christian or not Christian Ponder, sorry. Jake Locker isn't good. It's simply without Chris Johnson, this team is going to be really bad. Ryan Tannehill has an amazing game, finally showing a franchise what a franchise that he can be the franchise quarterback. 4 touchdowns. Jake Locker not good without relying on that one game. Lamar Miller, Reggie Bush, both healthy for the first time together this season. Um, but the Titans are gonna might not win another football game because they can't do anything on offense now that their star running back is out. You know, CJ 2K is gone. He's out. Um, Miami gets a good win though. They stay in the hunt. New York, Cincy. Oops. Cincy wins. Cincy comes back after a loss and wins. Both quarterbacks played extremely well. The Giants needed this win. They don't get the win. Um, so what? They're 4-6, I want to say. So the defending champs aren't living up to what they were last season. Although I don't think many people thought they were gonna win another championship. But I think they're 4-6, so that's not great. And the Bengals get another win, stay in the playoff hunt, not in the division hunt, just how good the Ravens are. Um, but yeah, I mean this game was bad. They blew a 21-6 lead. Actually, it was 24-6. I want to say. Christian Ponder had 4 interceptions. All 4 of them were in the fourth quarter. If you're wondering why Matt Stafford didn't play, Christian and Kellen Moore played, it's because Matt Stafford got hurt. Kellen Moore played amazing, and he is going to be the starting quarterback for the rest of the regular season because Matt Stafford is out. I don't remember what the injury is, but he's out for 7 weeks, which is the rest of the regular season. So Kellen Moore is the starter moving on. Um, yeah, Matthew Stafford's out for the rest of the season, and they do get a good win over a good opponent. Without Adrian Peterson, this team just isn't the same. Ponder did have a rushing touchdown. Percy Harvin had a good game. Megatron, Brandon Pettigrew. I mean, it's just the Lions are not looking great without Adrian Peterson. And Kellen Moore looks pretty good for a rookie, maybe. I mean, this rookie quarterback class is looking insane. You have Andrew Luck, who's really good. You have RG3, who's looking really good. You have Ryan Tannehill, who's getting better every week. Now have Christian Pond, or no, sorry, now you have Kellen Moore, who just threw 3 touchdowns. Who this guy was on the practice squad a couple weeks ago. They just elevated. Uh, so it's I mean, and he's a starter moving forward. Maybe he can get him to the playoffs. Seattle, New York. Um, Seattle wins this one 21-13. Boring game. Nothing really exciting happened. Jermaine Kearse did catch 2 touchdowns. Um, but it was a game I expected Seattle win. They end up did winning it. Um, Nick Folk missed the field goal. But yeah, that game was nothing really to talk about. Dallas, Philly. This was a fun game. Another game with a safety, but Mike Vick throws 3 touchdowns and Romo throws 2 interceptions, and they blow a lead. It was those 14 points came after it was 19-3. Yeah, it was 19-3. It kind of went back and forth from there. LeSean McCoy amazing. DeMarco Murray really good as well. Yards per carry not great, but that's any time with the sim. Um, Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson, Jason Avant all caught touchdowns. But Philly keeps winning. Obviously, this team won 4 games of real life, and it was Andy Reid's last season. D'Amico Ryans, future head coach of somebody in the NFL. Um, Dallas just keeps losing, and Philly just keeps winning. Philly won 4 games in real life. Now they are at 8. They've already doubled it from their real life, and they are most likely going to win the division. Honestly, what Dallas is 3-5, 3-6 ish. New York is 4-6. Washington's 2-7. Philly really only needs one or two more wins to clinch it. Um, so yeah, Rams San Fran. San Fran wins, so they are back in the win column. Colin Kaepernick a touchdown, a pick. Sam Bradford really good game. But he also had two rushing touchdowns on three carries, which is pretty neat. Frank Gore had a good game. Mario Manningham, good game. Uh, San Fran is good. They have a tough schedule. If they limit the turnovers, which they did today, only one, which obviously they'd rather have zero, but San Fran can win football games they had the number one offense and the number six defense. Houston, Chicago. Houston 20, Chicago 13. So Chicago falls in a game that they would have liked to win to hold first place in the division, but now Green Bay is first place with this loss. They're all 6-3, and Green Bay holds the tiebreakers. I want to say. Matt Schaub, good game. This was a really big win for Houston. Alshon Jeffrey continues to have a good game with Brandon Marshall. These two are really good together. Um, but yeah, it's a tough loss for Lovie Smith. Obviously, this team was like 7-3 in real life and ended up missing the playoffs at 10-6, and Lovie Smith got fired. So we could see something like that happen here as well. J.J. Watt with an amazing game, 3.5 sacks. So big win for Houston. And then on Monday night, Kansas City beats Pittsburgh in the snow at home. Big Ben has an amazing game. First play of the game was a 75-yard touchdown. I'm like, okay, this game is going to be bad for Kansas City, but they end up winning 30-35. Matt Castle has his best game of the season. Jamal Charles comes back. Doesn't have a great game, but he comes back. So that's huge for Kansas City down the stretch here. It's huge. Mike Wallace, two touchdowns, including a 75-yarder to start the game. So Kansas City back in the win column. Steelers just keep losing. It's not great for them. And yeah, that is the Week 10 stats and schedule.